feature presentation.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Chandler Burton Entertainment $5 tier on Patreon. I want to thank every single one of you for your continued support at Chandler Burton Entertainment. As always, I'm going to give a shout out to everybody on the $5 tier. So going in order, we have Mary Getty, Spitz, Adam Daly, Hardcore Kyle, Jordan Warner, James Houston, Brian Whitney, Chisholm King, Luann Owen, Kara Lee, Alyssa, Dan Holloway, Toby Stud Supreme, A. Crispy, Zach Mustafa, Darby Belial, Kennedy Fig, Joab Rogers, Evan, Jacob Johnson, LOL Ikeem, Ren, Brendan Young, Lorenzo Rodriguez, Pugcore, The Asthmatic, Alex Turner, Scott Johnson, Jacob, Bojax, Casey Thompson, Dylan Swan, and Ian, which are two brand new patrons that we have on the Patreon family. So thank you so much, you two, for joining the Patreon, and thank you for the rest of you for your continued support. It means the absolute world. Much love to every single one of you. Today on the Patreon, we are checking out the brand new album from the band Currents and their new album entitled The Death We Seek. We're going to be jamming the entire thing here today. Really excited to check this one out with you guys. I am a huge Currents fan. I've talked about it before, where it actually took me a little while to kind of get into Currents. They're very atmospheric and very just, I don't know, like their music was kind of a little too technical for me at first. I like very simple metalcore, but as you can see by the shirt I'm wearing, which is not a Current shirt, I should have changed it to my current shirt, I've started to like lean more into like that, you know, crazy kind of metalcore sound. And I feel like Currents, now that I've really dived into them a little bit more, they have that perfect balance of like uniqueness but familiarity. So I absolutely love all the material. I love The Place I Feel Safest. I love The Way It Ends. And again, I love I Let the Devil In. Thought all of those albums were absolutely fantastic. And it's been about 3 years since their last full length, The Way It Ends. And I know a lot of people are a little bit hit or miss on that album. I actually really enjoyed it, and I completely understand if people didn't enjoy it. But for me, that was one of my most listened to records while COVID was going on. Like, which was crazy to think about. That album came out right as COVID was still like a massive thing. So pretty crazy how fast time goes. But again, I am so excited to check this out with you guys here. Excited to dive in. But again, since we do have a couple of new patrons, I just want to go over a few things before we get started as usual. Number one, I'll ask you to please not share the link with anybody. Again, this is my way of giving back to you guys for supporting me on Patreon at Chandler Burton Entertainment. If you'd like to encourage your friends or family to join the Patreon, I wouldn't say no to that. But again, I'll ask you to please keep the link to yourself. And again, everybody's been very respectful about that. So thank you so much for continuing to do that. There is going to be a Patreon clip poll for this as well. So again, all the songs that you see in the poll, come vote on your favorite song. And the highest voted song will be the clip that I upload to YouTube for the public to check out this upcoming Monday. So again, your vote matters. So come vote on your favorite song that you see in the poll. Current is on Sharp Tone Records. Again, I have a very good working relationship with them, so we are able to upload this to YouTube as unlisted. So there will be time codes down below in the description on YouTube if you guys just want to skip around, watch the review, watch a certain reaction to a song, whatever you want to do. There will be time codes down below in the description. There's also official music videos and official visualizers for all the songs. If the computer freezes or the mic cuts out, I do apologize about that. Generally with longer videos, again, it does have a tendency to do that, and I do apologize about that. And then of course at the very end, as always, we're going to be doing a first listen review on The Death We Seek. So again, if you see me off to the side, I'm just taking some notes, or I'm just reading other reviews, kind of just comparing my notes to other people to talk about the album at the very end. But without further ado, my friends, let's go ahead and jump into Currents and their new album, The Death We Seek. Really excited to check it out with you guys here. Let's dive right in. Alright, my friends, again, Currents and their brand new album, The Death We Seek. Definitely one of my most anticipated albums of 2023. As I mentioned in the beginning, it took me a little while to get into Currents, but now that I am fully invested, they have become one of my favorite metalcore bands as of late. I just love like their familiarity, their technicality, and I love the lyrics they bring to it here. It's just like really intense and just good metalcore. There's a reason why people call these like the metalcore kings, because they really are bringing something really cool to the table. I haven't read much about this album. I think overall the reviews have been fairly positive from what I've kind of seen, but I haven't really gone in depth to read any kind of reviews. As I mentioned, I know The Way It Ends, some people didn't like that album. I personally enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. So I'm excited to see what they bring to the table with this full-length album. It's about 40 minutes long here, and we are going to start with the title track. So again, Currents, The Death We Seek. Let's pop it off in 3, 2, and 1. Again, I've already heard this song, so we're just going to kind of take a step back and just enjoy ourselves.
Love the lyrics on this one, man. Love his sand voice, man. This part's super cool coming up. Love that guitar though, so cool. Yeah, don't have much to say on this one, except I really like the song, because I've already heard it. Very nice. Line too, I like that. It's always hard because, like, you know, when they start off with a song they already heard, like the next two songs are gonna be new. Like, I just want to hear those really bad. But we gotta check out the entire album in its entirety. So, all right, the next song is Living in Tragedy. This is a brand new song, so excited to check it out with you guys here. Ooh. Loving the groove there. Ooh. Oh, that sounds kind of cool. I know that's how I try. Dude, his screams are insane. Oh, Floatress is sick. Chorus? Yeah. Ooh, this sounds like a Moses the White chorus, dude. Very good. I already got some notes I gotta take. Woo! Woo! Circle pit. Loving the high streams we're getting on this, man. Dang, dude. We're all talking about Will Ramos, but we haven't been talking about Brian Willie, dude. However you ever say his last name. Holy crap. Destruction of the gods. Dang, dude. That is brutal. Back to the chorus. Dude, it's like deathcore and metal, like melodic metalcore put together. That's cool, man. Oh, shoot! Holy crap, that was insane, dude. Alright, so they just dropped the music video for this the day of the recording, which is May 5th, I believe. May 5th, yeah. It's called Unfamiliar. So I had to wait to put everything together until this video came out, but decided to check it out with you guys. Hopefully it's a banger. But they're in a sunset.
Reflections of violent shadows follow me.
Again, vocal melodies are top notch. Ooh. Oh, I love that.
Set a course for a new life. For each day is another disaster. Now we're forced to reveal it for ourselves.
Of course. Yeah. What a 180 from Living in Tragedy, dude. Well, maybe, I don't know. It might get heavy, but... I love how they're singing the first verse, screaming in the second. That's cool. I love that. Love the guitar work. Guitar solo. Now this is what I love. Oh, I love that, dude. That was like a legitimate metal guitar solo. I love that, dude. So freaking cool.
It's not hard to get lost. It's not hard to get lost. It's not hard to
Yeah.
get lost. All the past, all unfamiliar. Our path always been. Save a life at what cost? Now we're on a track. We've all forgotten the station. The way I see
Ooh.
in control, but it's just not the way this works. It's not hard
Dude.
to get lost. All the paths so unfamiliar. That's all
Let's go, man.
Take a bow for the love forgotten.
Woo! What a heater. Alright, next song is So Alone. I do love this song a lot. Really good chorus.
Control is fading now.
Get the lyrics pulled up on this too.
We're stranded waiting
I
for
feel like Kearns has great lyrics.
with half cut songs. We struggle endlessly for naught. This life is come undone. A sign unfolds. We can't remember if we've been here before.
Yeah, let's go, brother.
So alone.
Love that, dude. Everything about this album so far is working for me, dude. Love that back and forth. I think this is probably my favorite single. Let's go, boys. So good, dude. Alright, next one is another new one. It's called Over and Over. Oh yeah, that guitar work off the bat definitely feels like Currents. That's such a unique sound to them. I love that. Got the lyrics pulled up on the side here. I'm gonna read along. Everything around this world is shades and revolves like we come the oceans like rain. The world so long is out the IRA. But our blood's like wine forever now, intoxicating. We come the oceans and rain. The world so long is obsolete. Separation led to an altered state. Chorus. Yeah. Oh. Again, fantastic, dude. Ooh, I like that. Are we damned to taste the beat? I like that line. Oh yeah! Woo, that is sick! Oh yeah! Gotta have those little mix-ups in between though that make that breakdown unique. Woo! Love this chorus. Really eye-opening chorus. Kind of sad, but eye-opening. Yeah, the choruses are much stronger on this album than the way it ends. I will say that for sure. I will defend that album, but this is a lot better put together, I would say. I'm gonna put that down as a note, actually. was a great song, dude. I really like that chorus. That was fantastic. Alright, the next song is also going to be brand new. Our brand new song is called Beyond This Road. Let's go. I had to take a quick note there, but this is a great opening riff.
Deceived, a lie we lived. We're offered a love for the loveless. Beyond this road, there's another world we can carve out for ourselves. We can't be slowed, breaking down the walls that divide us from our dreams.
Alright. I think the verses are definitely the standout in this one. Oh, yeah. Can't be slowed. Let's go. Oh yeah. That sounds like a Flag the Wave breakdown. That is sick. Woo! Let's go, man. That's hype.
Deceived, a lie we lived. We're offered a love for the loveless. Beyond this road, there's another world we can carve out for ourselves. We can't be slowed, breaking down the walls that divide us from good dreams.
What a heavy boy. Very nice. Alright, next song is Vengeance, which we have heard. I've done a reaction to this one as well. So I'm going to take a couple of notes here. I'm almost done, I think. So yeah, I got to take a few more notes. Probably the heaviest song on the album, so there's no singing on this one at all. two-step. Lyrics are so cool, man. Back to the chorus, I believe. Lyrics are really cool, but this one's kind of, you know, I think this one's my least favorite of the singles, but it's still a good song. Alright, next song is called Gone Astray. We have this song, and then we'll have the last, well, we'll have this song, Remember Me, which we've done a reaction to, and then Guide Us Home will be the last two songs, and then we'll be done with the album. Ooh. There we go. Another really big chorus. Alright, let's see where we're gonna go with this song. Oh yeah. Beefy boy. Another good song, man. That's a good song. I think that one I would have to listen to it again to see if I really, really love it, but still a good song. All right. So the next song is Remember Me, which we have, again, as I said, we have done a reaction, so we have heard this one. And then the last song will be Guide Us Home, and then we will do the first listen review. So should be good. I'm excited. I've heard this song in a while, but love the vocal melody on this.
We carry the weight of selfless scars. We silently crave upon a pedestal. We place our pain. One quadrant for the council. To our ball to break. Cut the veil, not but the story still burns its face. So when you take a look deep inside yourself, dwells in its things, like a chemical reaction burning your brain. In life's way of our regrets, sharpen the knives and cuts out with deepest traits of hate. Show me the love you've always wanted. All the love is gone, driven apart by what we all have seen. We're falling over ourselves. How do we mourn what's lost? What never will be.
Remember me, remember me.
As long carry the weight of selfless scars. We silently crave. Show me your hands and touch the stars with me. We're never just on one path, one road to travel. It seems our story is infinite, and we've just been pulling at the strings. Another never will be. We have exercised the will of parasites. We're not robots of innocence. All the love is gone, driven apart by what we all have seen. We're falling over ourselves. How do we mourn what's lost? What never will be. Remember me, as you love me. Carry the weight of selfless scars. We silently crave. Show me your hands and touch the stars with me. Fight walls like mountains.
Yeah, it's hard to comment on like when songs I've already heard because I've already reviewed them like in depth, so I'm just kind of jamming along.
Will not let hate be my lesson.
I do like that line though. I would not let hate be my last sin. That's super cool.
Very good song. Very good song.
All right, this is the last song on the album, Guide Us Home. This is also the longest song on the album, 4 minutes and 11 seconds.
But it's warming to sit in silence with bright and eyes as we start anew. Maybe this is our chance to tip the scales and play the cards. We know that we all have illusions, a world to fight the odds. For we all cannot be repaid. There's no stopping our minds from spinning over again. All that matters is we keep moving. Oh God, we try to overcome the pain, but all that's left for now is to face the lives that lie beyond us. We will run till the sun won't guide us.
Oh, I love that. That sounds cool.
Instead of mending the scars, you cut right over them. Can you tell me if life's not worth it to start? Why don't we start accepting the people we're dying to be? How's become a part of me when you look at yourself? Do you look through me? How's become a part of me when you look at yourself? Do you look through me? How's become a part of me when you look at yourself? Do you look through me? How's become a part of me when you look at yourself? Do you look at me?
Do I love? Oh, that sounds cool. Ooh, another guitar solo. Love that, dude.
God, we try
Big chorus. And there it was, my friends. That was Currents, The Death We Seek. Their third, well, I guess, I mean, they've had some other stuff before, but I guess with this lineup, this is their third studio album on Sharp Tone Records. Nothing better than an album just taking you on just a really solid journey, and it's a really awesome journey that I'm glad that I took. You know, I really, really enjoyed this album. I don't think it's perfect by any means, but it is pretty dang close to it. So I'm actually really excited to talk about it. So my first listen review of this album is coming up next. So
So stick around for that. All right, my friends, let's go ahead and talk about Currents and their new album, The Death We Seek. Again, we just got done jamming the entire thing. Again, I am really glad that this is a journey I took, because I thoroughly enjoyed this album all the way through. I'm going to give you my positives, give you some cons, my top 3 songs, and then I'll give you kind of some overall thoughts and a score, and we will go from there. So, of course, let's start off with the positive here. And number 1, absolutely, I got to give it to Brian's voice on this, man. Not only just like his screaming, but his vocal melodies as well. I just loved how he incorporated all of the singing and screaming together. Singing and screaming is not easy to do. You gotta have that mental fortitude to like switch back and forth. That can be very difficult. Brian not only can do it like perfectly, and not only, I mean, I've seen him do it live. I haven't seen the band live, but I've seen videos of them live, and he can absolutely do it the entire set. I mean, I really wish their tour was coming through to where I was living, because I think that would be a show I would really want to go to. But I love how, like, honestly, he was able to take, like, honestly, just like his normal scream, and then he has like some deathcore screams, and I really love that we got a lot of high screams, especially like on Living in Tragedy. That felt like a deathcore song through and through, and I was like, as I said in the reaction, I was like, dude, a lot of people are talking about, you know, Will Ramos and those kind of things, but it's like, dude, Brian is really good. He can do like everything. He's probably the most versatile vocals we have in the scene. I absolutely love that. I also love the vocal melodies on this. Something like on Unfamiliar or Over and Over or So Alone. Like, those choruses are so captivating, and they're so catchy, and they're so filled with so much heart that you can really feel what they're talking about. And I love that he's able to bring that emotion out in his voice. It also feels like, you know, they're like, okay, we're going to scream this part because we're angry about something, or we feel really passionate about it. And the singing, I also feel like they were like, okay, we want to be passionate about this, but in a different sort of way. I absolutely loved every aspect of Brian's voice on this album. Like, top tier, like, absolutely incredible. He killed it, and he is wonderful. So props to you, dude. I'd also say, kind of going back to it a little bit, I love that there was like a blend of like a little bit of deathcore on this album and like some metalcore. Like, there was a good blend of it as well. Like, this album was really heavy. Like, honestly, I know Currents has always been like a very like melodic, you know, kind of atmospheric metalcore band, but this one was really heavy. I mean, really, really heavy. I mean, obviously, I'm not even talking about like Vengeance or anything like that, but just even like some of the verses, they're just heavy. And I thought that was really cool. And definitely with Brian's vocals, it definitely felt, you know, deathcore at parts. And I think that's going to be really cool for a lot of people that really want something heavy from this band. But then there's people like me who don't mind the deathcore parts of it. I really prefer the metalcore side of things, but like, there is something for everybody on this album. If you're like a well-seasoned metalhead, like if you were like metalcore, deathcore all the way, this is going to be an awesome album for you. I mean, this was an absolutely fantastic listen. So I love the blend of that. I thought that was really cool, and it didn't feel crowbarred. I thought they did a really good job of incorporating that. If that's what they were trying to do, that's what it sounded like to me. I thought they did a great job. Again, the guitar solos and the guitar work on this album is absolutely phenomenal. Currents has such a unique sound to them here that, you know, like when you hear a certain part of a song, it's Currents. Like, they'll do, like, for example, like Beyond This Road, pretty simple breakdown that does like a really cool guitar moment in there. I'm like, it just feels like Currents, and I think that's really cool that Currents has that unique sound that people know who it is. Like, when they hear the guitar work, like, oh yeah, that's Currents. And again, a lot of bands can't really say that a lot of bands, you know, a lot of the bands sound the same, and Currents has a couple of moments on this album where it does sound kind of same to other bands that I've heard, but overall, Currents does have that unique style that a lot of bands are really craving to find, and I think that's really cool. So it's cool to be like, oh yeah, that's a Currents moment, or you hear that in another song, like, oh, that sounds like Currents, and it's like, that's really cool that they've reached that level in their career where people are like taking a lot of inspiration for them. So the guitar work on this album is great. The riffs, the guitar solos, everything about it was just absolutely fantastic. I thought it was really cool. And then I would say, honestly, the last thing I'll say pro-wise is that really like the lyrics on this album. One thing I've always liked about Currents is that they just kind of say it like it is. Like, if they're angry about something, like, they just say it. They don't hold anything back, and I think that's a really cool like thing about their music. An example, I think one of the biggest examples is either like The Death We Seek, the title track. I mean, that's just a really intense song. And then honestly, for another example would be like Over and Over, like that chorus, it just kind of talks about like giving up, and it's done in such a beautiful way that it just really impacts you as a person. And for me, who does not play a guitar, who can do like screaming vocals and those types of things, like, I'm not like a music guy per se, so for me, my biggest things, I love breaking down the lyrics, and I gotta say the lyrics on this album were phenomenal. A little bit sad and a little bit dark, but I think necessary for the times that we're living in. So I will say, as much as I did love this album, I mean, no album is perfect, and these are just a couple of things that kind of stick out to me as a con per se. It doesn't really weigh down my score of what I've already have down, but just a couple of things that I kind of noticed. Number one, the production, it is good, but I really feel like sometimes it's just kind of a hit or miss. I've been noticing that lately with a lot of records where I just feel like the production is hit or miss. I think I'm just so spoiled by Drew Folk and Tyler Smith, like the way they do things, or like Andrew Wade. Like I feel like I'm just so spoiled by those guys that I feel like if no one goes to them, I'm just like, the record sounds kind of weird. But overall, this record does sound good. I just feel like, again, there's a couple of songs on here, for example, like Beyond This Road. I just feel like in the beginning, like the screaming was really cool, but I felt it was so buried in the mix, it was kind of hard to hear Brian. But then there was moments where you can hear him perfectly, and so, but then there's other songs like So Alone where the screaming sounds in the forefront and everything sounds balanced. So it felt a little imbalanced to me at certain points. Also on like Gone Astray, I feel like the singing on that again was just a little buried in the mix a little bit. But I mean, overall, like, again, it's still listenable. Like, it's not bad by any means. Honestly, most metal bands nowadays aren't going to really have like terrible production. I mean, obviously, you know, you want to have something really good and polished, you know, because again, with this music scene, you have to be able to hit home every time with an album, or, you know, it could be tragic for your band. But for me, like, it was just a little bit hit or miss. I think Chris Weisman did this album, because I know he does his own music, the same as Shadow of Intent. So not that it's bad or anything. I just felt like, again, some of the vocals were a little bit mixed in with the instruments a little too much, a little hard to hear on some of the songs. And then I would also say some of the songs as well do have kind of a similar structure to them. While they do have cool moments in them, for example, like, you know, the guitar work sounds different than, you know, this song, that song. I felt like when it came to like a lot of the verses, for example, like a lot of the verses, like, you know, for example, it was like, you know, Unfamiliar and Remember Me and those types of things, like really cool. And there's some other songs on the album as well that do this. It starts off with like a good singing verse, chorus, screaming, verse, and kind of the same thing over and over. So it gets kind of predictable. So some of the songs do have a little bit of similar structure, but again, to counter argue that, it's like, you know, what else can they do? You know, they can either do like, you know, screaming in both verses, singing in the chorus, or vice versa. So again, that is kind of in counter argument, but again, that is something that I kind of noticed as a con on this album. Again, it doesn't lower the score that I already have, just a couple of things that kind of stuck out to me. So my top 3 favorite songs from this album. Again, this is another album where it was really hard to pick a top 3, because I legitimately enjoyed this entire album all the way through. But I think I'm going to go with these 3 for right now. Again, it always changes, but again, this is just a first initial listen of what I really like. So number 1, Living in Tragedy. I loved how heavy that song was. I love that cool like electronic background. Love the breakdowns. Great chorus. Sound like a Motionless in White chorus, which I was all about. I thought that was absolutely fantastic. So that song was so sick. And then the next song I'm picking, you know, did an absolute 180 with Unfamiliar. Definitely had that beautiful, you know, verse in the beginning, a great chorus, had an awesome guitar solo. Like, that song wasn't anything too crazy. That's what I'm saying. Like, Currents, you know, they have their own sound, but it definitely, they, you know, borrow elements from other bands for sure that sound kind of similar, but this one was just executed really well. And I think if you have good execution, it's catchy, it's engaging, I think you can still create a great song that is familiar, but also, you know, just really, really good. And I feel like Unfamiliar is that song for Currents. I thought that was really, really, really good. And then I would say, honestly, Over and Over, I really like the chorus on that, as I talked about in the beginning in my pros, where I love how the chorus is very eye-opening. You know, it's very kind of tragic, kind of dark, but again, the overall song itself is just really, really good. But again, those are my top 3 songs that stuck out to me. Again, those are always subject to change, but again, for right now, those are my top 3 songs off of Current's new album, The Death We Seek. The Death We Seek reminded me why I love metal music so much. It had catchy choruses, it had heavy moments. It was a blend of super heavy, super melodic, and again, this is the kind of music that I love to listen to, that I love to make, that I enjoy listening to on the daily, not only when I'm working out, but just even like around my house. Like, I absolutely love this type of music. So this album reminded me like why I love doing this channel. Like, I love reacting to metal, I love talking about metal. So this album really reminded me of why I love this music so much, and I thought that was just a really cool feeling as I'm going through listening to this album. That's what I meant by in the beginning, where like I took a journey going like, you know, not that my love for metal ever went away, but like it just kind of reminded me again, like this is where I need to be, and I absolutely loved this album. I thought it was super cool. I know, kind of talk about it a little bit, you know, with the way it ends. I know a lot of people were, you know, don't really like that album, but for me, I liked it. Again, there were a couple of songs on there, in my personal opinion, like "Kill the Ache" or "Let Me Leave," which just didn't really hit for me personally. But I feel like on this album, I feel like all the songs hit so much better. I feel like it's better put together. I think it has better better moments on this album than The Way It Ends. Again, not that I don't hate that album, but compared to this one, I would absolutely say The Way It Ends is the weakest of the three main albums. I'm not going to count I Let the Devil In, but out of the three main albums, I got to say The Way It Ends would be a little bit weaker. I don't know if I like The Death We Seek more than The Place I Feel Safest. Those are, right now, I have to listen to a little bit more to make that decision, but as a first initial listen, as a guy who loves metal and absolutely adores this band, this album was an absolute hit for me. It's not perfect by any means, but it is pretty dang close to being perfect, and I really have a very, very high feeling that this album is going to make it on my top 10 albums of 2023. Don't know where I would put it yet, but man, I am very confident that it is going to make it on there somewhere. I'm going to give Currents, The Death We Seek, an 8.5 out of 10. Just beautiful all the way through. Couple of misses here and there. There may be a few songs I may not go back to, but again, just on the first initial listen, that may change. I do plan on listening to this album over and over throughout this year, so we'll see if that changes. But overall, man, this is a masterclass of what modern metal should be. Alright, my friends, well, thank you all so much for jamming Currents and their new album, The Death We Seek. I really enjoyed this album, but again, your opinion may be different than mine, so definitely let me know on a comment on YouTube, Patreon, or send me a personal message on Patreon, or of course on Instagram or Twitter. Those are always open if you guys want to talk, have a conversation. Love to know your opinions on this album, or again, if you just want to talk, I will try my best to reply to you as quickly as I can. You guys mean the absolute world to me, and again, your ongoing support just absolutely, it means the world. I mean, especially now that I'm getting married this year, like your ongoing support really does help. So thank you so much for your continued support with all this. It really does mean the world. So again, definitely let me know your thoughts, however you want to do that. We have 2 more albums coming up this weekend. Tomorrow on May 6th, we're going to be doing Galactic Empire and their new album called Special Edition. This is again just a bunch of Star Wars instrumentals gone metal, which I absolutely am all for. So I'm really excited to jam that with you guys. I've only heard one song, and that was the Battle of Hoth. So I'm really excited to check out the entire thing. Really excited. And again, we just had May 4th, so I'm like, you know, perfect time to do it this weekend is a Star Wars metal album. So really excited about that. And then on Sunday, which is going to be May 7th, we're going to be doing the band called Drain and their new album called Living Proof. This is a band that I have reacted to before on my YouTube channel. Like, I upload that full album for free, so again, if you guys want to watch that, it's on YouTube. But again, this is a hardcore band that definitely, you know, they kind of give me like the Parkway Drive feel of just having like fun with your music and just not taking it too seriously and just having a good time. So they're a really cool band. And again, that album will be coming on Monday, and again, we have a whole bunch of other stuff coming as well as early access for the other tiers as well. So just want to let y'all know that here, what is coming out this upcoming week on Patreon. But again, I want to thank you all so much for your continued support here at the channel, The Burton Entertainment $5 tier on Patreon. Again, I hope you found some new music. I hope your mental health improves. But above all else, I want you to know that every single one of you are loved. And until next time, I hope y'all take care. And again, thank you again for the continued support. Much love.